Now, there's been a very big development. Overnight, the IDF conducted a targeted raid using tanks in the northern Gaza Strip as part of preparations for the next stages of combat. The activity was commanded by the Givati Brigade. Now, during the activity, soldiers located and struck numerous terror infrastructure and anti-tank missile launch posts and operated to prepare the battlefield. The soldiers then exited the area at the end of the activity. So this was a limited incursion, one could possibly say, on the part of the Israeli Defense Forces that was conducted overnight, not yet a full-fledged land invasion. So that was, of course, the development that took place overnight, where limited incursions took place inside Gaza territory. Now, Israel's preparation for the Gaza invasion appears to be now in its final stages, and the Israeli War Cabinet is expected to make a unanimous decision soon as to when exactly to proceed. While Israel continues to wipe out Hamas, the United States continues to rally behind Israel, extending its support. The US President Joe Biden once again asserted that Israel has the right and responsibility to respond to the slaughter of their people. Hamas is hiding behind Palestinian civilians, he said, and that's despicable and, not surprisingly, very cowardly as well. These are the statements coming from the US President.
Israel has the right, and I would add a responsibility, to respond to the slaughter of their people. And we will ensure Israel has what it needs to defend itself against these terrorists. That's a guarantee. We also have to remember that Hamas does not represent, let me say it again, Hamas does not represent the vast majority of the Palestinian people on the Gaza Strip or anywhere else. Hamas is hiding behind Palestinian civilians and is despicable and, not surprisingly, cowardly as well.
Now, Joe Biden also speculated a possible link between the Hamas attack and what he described as the greater integration of Israel and regional integration. This sparked speculation as to whether or not he was referring to the India, Middle East, Europe corridor that had been agreed upon on the sidelines of the G20 summit. Biden said that he's convinced that one of the reasons why Hamas launched a terror attack on Israel was because of the progress that they'd been making towards regional integration for Israel and regional integration overall.
I'm convinced one of the reasons Hamas attacked when they did, I have no proof of this, just my instinct tells me, is because of the progress we were making towards regional integration for Israel and regional integration overall. And we can't leave that work behind.
Now, fireworks were also witnessed in the UN session after the US resolution on the Israel-Gaza war was rejected, along with that of Russia's. Russia and China vetoed a US push for the United Nations Security Council to act on the Israel-Hamas war. In its draft, the US had stated that Israel has the right to defend itself and demanded that Iran must stop exporting arms to militant groups. Now, however, China has called the US draft as part of what it describes as American double standards. The ambassador of Israel to the UN, Gilad Erdan, lambasted at those countries which had voted against the US resolution. He said that this council is incapable of doing the most basic task of condemning ISIS-like terrorists.
Those who have voted against the US-led resolution have shown the world that this council is incapable of doing the most basic task of condemning ISIS-like terrorists and cannot confirm the right to self-defense of the victim of these heinous crimes. Israel has been attacked and continues to be attacked.